Another season here in Hartford. Let's see if I manage to upload this one out of order. My goodness, have I not been in tip-top form as of late, nor has this team. But as you would have seen in the last episode, we're starting to look okay and starting to turn the corner in some regards. Let's focus on setting up this team for the season. Goaltending, pretty straightforward. Jonas Enroth's going to be dropped. We will qualify Emil Vinny. On the defensive side of things, Skinner obviously stays. Karppinen will stay as well. And the two drafted at the very end there, we got Bernd Bakos, who will be signed. We'll give him a shot early. And Daryl Little, both European players. So at the very least, we'll be able to play in the AHL, hopefully on that top line, or top pair, I should say, if needed. Mr. Moses, Asher Moses, keeping you around. Joris Rivik-Ratty will be dropped. Tuukka Saikala of the Malmo Redhawks, he will be signed. Keith, who is still not that good, will qualify you. Landon Ferraro can go. Russ Ray, you're trash, but we might as well sign you for the AHL. Why the hell not? On the left wing side, Vukafuji, we do have to keep. Again, former third rounder. Not all that good, but worth keeping you. And then Johan Lindgren, that 13th overall pick, who again isn't bad and very well could be our top line left wing this season. And yeah, for the most part, even if their guys are trash, if they're not in junior, I probably will sign them just to get them some playing time, really. Otherwise, we should be fine. Down the middle, nobody to sign. Good. Good. All right, from the looks of it, we're not going to be missing anybody, so we're good to go. We'll let go of those out there that need to be let go of. Oh, man, we're going to have some scouts and coaches to sign here, though, unfortunately. Let's try to get that done as soon as we possibly can. And I'm not sure just how soon will be. But we will give it a shot. Guy Maison-Nueve will sign you to, let's go to about $5 million. I'm not going to max it out to the $9 million contract because fuck it. That's the only answer I have. AHL associate Roy Biggs. Again, one of these days we'll get a max offer button. And until then, we don't even have the button to change each individual digit like we do in Ultimate Team. Hooray for that. Murray Booz, you are a tremendous-looking 60-year-old. Congratulations. And Ethan McPherson at 58. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if they had more than 3 faces. That'd be pretty cool. In terms of the scouts, oh boy, there's not a whole lot of top talent when it comes to scouts. And again, we've seen the struggles of, well, there's 48 teams and how difficult it can be to find a good amount of scouts. We will sign 3 more people, Samu Avatanen and Stanislav, not Sergei Fedorov. So for the most part then, we're good. We just have the RFAs to worry about. And honestly, we can go negotiate with them now. Again, there is that idea of year by year, so on and so forth. But with these guys, I think it might just be for the best. I was going to say, depending on asking price, to get these deals done fast. And unfortunately, Vinny's looking for a lot of money. Skinner, looking for a good amount of money. Karppinen, looking for a decent amount. Yeah, I think we just take advantage of the fact that they are RFAs and we try to wait these guys out and get them to take the qualifying offers. Biggs goes to St. Louis. Murray Booz does end up signing with us. McPherson was already offered that similar role. So we should have room now to only have to sign the 2 goalie coaches, I think. Maison-Nueve also goes elsewhere. So not the best bit of recruitment when it comes to the head coaches. Let me actually just double check that before all the best coaches are off the market. No, we're good. Yeah, we just need the 2 goalie coaches. Cool. So we didn't get everybody, but not a big deal and quick and easy. We can move forward. We know if we get an offer sheet here, McCarty signs. that we could either, if the potential's bad enough, we can take that offer sheet and accept it, or we just wait these guys out. So, we didn't do this in the prior year. I think we are going to look to do this quite a bit. But we do have too few players, which is always an issue. So, let's see what we have. Goalie-wise, we need one more because Vinny is not signed. Defense is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good there. Forward-wise, it is 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, never mind. Okay, we do need a bunch of forwards for the AHL's purpose. We need some forwards and we need a goalie. So let's see here. Veteran goaltender. I mean, Jonas Enroth. We've already given old Enroth quite a bit of money. Let's go for Montas Armalis, the most handsome devil in hockey history. Jesus Christ. Mr. Montas, we will sign you to a boatload of money. Congratulations. And then we need a few forwards here and there, and this can be where the likes of Josh Joris comes back, Landon Ferraro can come back, sign him to a little bit of money. Brendan Shinneman can come back. Let's go for Anton Lander and Magnus Pyarvi, formerly Magnus Pyarvi Svensson. Again, this was supposed to be the Oilers' future right here, both of them. Jamie DeVam will sign you as well to a little bit of money. And let's go for Marek Krivik. We'll bring you back as well. Why not? Because, again, we did need some of these people signed. Hopefully they sign quickly and I don't get in trouble. Shinneman, Armalise, everyone's signing. You love to see it. And we should be good. It does look like Emil Vinny will hold on as an RFA until the beginning of camp, which is not a big deal. So let's see. Mr. Vinny. Okay, now we can go for a 3-year deal. Now, technically, I could do this year by year. Before Emil Vinny, 3,175. If you'll take that, that is technically a very good term for you. Skinner, 4 years. Oh boy, that's a little bit much. But 3, 4 and a quarter for the 4 years. You'd still be an RFA at the end of the deal. It's not that bad. Right wing side, Mr. Moses. Oof. Okay, maybe it's time to abandon ship on this strategy. I can't sign him for that much. Can't do it. Keith is cheap enough. We can sign Keith. But yeah, I think it's going to have to be a 1-year deal for Moses because my goodness, does he want a boatload of money? Fukufuji is not nearly as bad, which is okay. 85% will bring this down to actually technically up to 3.3 million. Which is okay. It's a little bit pricey, obviously, but I don't think that's a contract I'd ultimately, incredibly regret. So it is just the Moses situation of signing you for the year and letting you likely again end up being an RFA next season and seeing what happens from there. But so far, we are looking good, and it looks like every single person accepted their contract offer. So $24 million in space. Are we underneath the cap floor? The answer is yes. Not by much, but yes. So we'll go out, sign another forward to a max deal, and take it from there. And let's go for Tyler Sakura. Why not? We'll go for Tyler Sakura. He'll take up the vast majority of our remaining cap space. And we, just like that, are almost good to go for the start of a new season. So Sakura accepts. Let's get our roster set, then we'll worry about coaching staff. So goalies this season, it will be Vinny and Ratzlaff with Russia in the minors, of course. Defensively, Dragosevic up to an 80. That's tremendous. With Parker, Bentham, Virtanen. I mean, pretty much all of these guys are ours now. Yeah, and then defensively, same thing. Every single player is ours. So we can go off of overall, we can go off of potential and who we think might benefit the best. These two can definitely get sent down. Stajan was the low elite. Chow's a low 4. Karpinen's a medium 7th. So we got Skinner who needs to come up. And Pakarainen and even off, not that important. Yakula at a medium 7th. We'll go with Watkins, Bakos, and then probably Little, even at the NHL level. I mean, that's the question. Is it worth the risk? Because Virtanen's not that great. And it's Nolan Bentham is not going to get much better, but he is good now by the standards of the league. So we could technically run with these guys here, this defense, to hope that especially these three at the bottom shoot up in terms of overall, or we go with the guys who are technically NHL caliber right now to make this team better. And I got to be honest, I think we do want to focus on player development more so than being good now. That said, I mean, hey, if we win our first cup in 2028 and then win a few more along the way, that's also not a bad way to go about it. Excuse me. So there are different ways. There are different ways to go about this. Swap them there. Left wing side, Payarvi. Down for Vukafuji. Oh, goodness. Then we got Bell and Booth. And then at center, Misa, Oswald, and Lander. Send Lander down. Jalen Shepard and Jacques Delorier. And that would be an NHL lineup, at least in terms of forwards, and actually an entire NHL lineup made up of players specifically on our team. And if we sort this by potential, obviously we got to send down 3 players. Delorier stays. Shepard's a medium bottom 6. Booth's a low 9. Bell's a medium bottom 6. If we were to keep players, I mean, Booth can go down. Bell can stay. Ahanen's not that great. Yeah, I mean, send down Booth and Ahanen to keep Bell. This might help us get better chemistry as well with the Lions to play people within their proper positions. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll see if we can optimize it based on the coaches. So to have people in their proper positions, hopefully for the sake of chemistry, Landeskog obviously top. Cycla, Moses Dezout. You got Misa, Oswald, Delorier definitely second line. Shepard ahead of Oswald. And then Vukafuji behind Lindgren. Bell ahead of Vukafuji. And probably Vukafuji ahead of McCarty. So I think those would be the forward lines we would look to roll. Again, it's not the strongest team we can technically make. But in terms of potential, it is pretty damn good. Dragisevich could play either side. So could Watkins. We'll leave Dragisevich on the right. The rare right-handed or left-handed right defenseman. So Skinner's that's 6. You got the low elite and Stajan, medium 4. And Lucas Dragisevich, which honestly, having Stajan ahead of him, is not the worst idea in the world. And then we got 3 low elites there. So Watkins, Stajan, Bakos, Dragisevich. But in terms of development, it makes sense for Dragisevich to still be top pair because that way he's playing in his role. Honestly, for Skinner too, if you think about it, at least that way he's still playing within his proper role of being a top 4 defender, and he should develop a little bit better. I don't think there was anybody else I was worried about that with, at least for forwards. So I think that's it. And then Ratzlaff and Vinny in goal. I mean, that's not bad at all. The one thing we could, of course, argue here would be not goaltending, excuse me. I was going to say the power play in terms of optimizing this as well. So let's take a look really quickly at said power play. So Misa, Landeskog, we're going to want... Actually, you know what? We shouldn't do this yet because we might change it based on our coach. So let's go ahead and edit the AHL really quickly. So Russia, Armalis, that's fine. Defensively, Yakula is a medium 7th. Yasu, you know what? I couldn't care less who plays where. for the AHL side of things, except that Russ Ray should be in the lineup. Holmqvist is not ours. He was a Portland Axe pick. Andrick isn't going to be ours, but Booth is. Get him in there, and then at center, no one to worry about. Cool. So let's optimize the coaches really quickly, and then we'll go back and try to make sure our power play is good as well to get those younger guys in the best spot possible. So Kaliko is only a 55 in terms of fit. What about Andrews at a 59? So Carter Andrews right now is the go-to. Watton, 63 for Terrell Watton. Chorney, 59. So Watton's still in the lead. Why is that guy a generalist? I guess it signed someone for me. Bejan. Bejan at a 60. And then Booze, our final option, 53. So we know our coach. And it is going to be Watton. Let me go ahead and get rid of Sawyer Schmaltz. And from there, power play. Let's go with Kaliko. So we'll have Kaliko as the associate option. And let's go with Bejan as the assistant. Need to sign a goalie coach. And then from here, have you as the assistant coach. That all looks good. So yeah, we just need the 2 goalie coaches to round that out. No forward specialist, which is a little bit scary, but at the same time, not the end of the world. So Ernest Agon would love to have you as our NHL head coach, or NHL goalie coach, I should say. And then let's go for Kip Newberry as the AHL goalie coach down in Providence. I mean, Nick Russia is the only guy really benefiting from that particular coach. And then we have a lot to do in terms of scouts, everyone's favorite aspect of franchise mode, optimizing this. I know what's my favorite. It's not. It's not at all. It's actually quite annoying. Send help. Let's see. We got a DEL and an ICE option. So let's go with the Extraliga. And then we'll need an NLA scout as well to round out the Europes. Well, not entirely. I like how it says Europe as if, you know, I mean, it just separates it. It's all Europe, except for Russia, but also kind of. Liga SHL. All right, we need another OHL scout, another QMJHL scout, and then we are good to go in this regard. So now we know who our best, option will be. Could have technically optimized the AHL for better line chemistry, but at the same time, who cares? We don't have too many of our players on that roster right now. I'm not too worried about it. So, again, this is the team. The only thing that we need to do now is to optimize this power play, and indeed it did change. Let's get Lindgren in there, as we know we're going to want him. And then the only question from there is, do we go with, we have enough defenders that, yeah, it probably should be a lot of defenders outside of the top 6 there for the second power play. So technically, we're going to want Dragicevic in there, and we're going to want, let's go with Watkins. Let's have Dragicevic and Watkins as the top power play setup. Dragicevic over there for the 1T. Landeskog is a lefty. Lindgren's a lefty as well. I'll have Lindgren park in front. Let the rest of the boys kind of do the work. The distributor will be one Michael Misa, as we'll set up Landeskog, of course, as the finisher and Misa as the puck carrier. We'll go with that aggressive face-off. Landeskog set up for the 1T. Watkins. Actually, let's have Lindgren, then Watkins there. There we go. Perfect. That's looking good. And we will set up the second power play as well, as it will be on that left side. Let's go with Bell. We want Delorier and Cycla, who's already there. And then defensively, since we have Watkins and Dragicevic, let's go with, honestly, Skinner and Stajan. Because Skinner can still develop a little bit. A really useful player for us long term. We'll get Stajan in there as well. So Cycla set up for the 1T. We'll have Bell there on the left. Skinner's over as a righty. Stajan at the point as a lefty. Technically, it is a -2 in terms of chemistry, but honestly, I like it quite a lot. We'll have Delorier as the setup man down low. Let's have Cycla as the finisher on this line, and the puck carrier can be Stajan. I mean, he's good at passing the puck. And then face-off formation, aggressive. No, aggressive. Thank you. And of course, Bell's a lefty, Cycla as a righty. Skinner can stay up there. Honestly, that's good. That's good. I think we're good for this season. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll and see what the New England/Hartford Whalers are capable of for this season. Obviously, super high hopes and expectations in Michael Misa and, of course, Landeskog as well, for them to just be able to hopefully destroy worlds yet again. And, you know, again, we're still in that spot, too, of cool. If we make the playoffs, fine. If we don't, I'm happy with the higher draft pick in theory. We start off our season against the Dallas Devils, 59, 44, and 75, the ratings. So goaltending right now is our strong point. Obviously, we are intentionally making the lineup weaker to feature higher potential players so that, you know, those ratings could be significantly higher based off of some of the players that we have in the AHL. But who knows what this season might bring? We are still very much in the early stages of, hey, let's just see what happens and play it out from there. We have zero expectations. Eventually, we will hit that point where it is the feeling of, my God, we need to win a championship. Like, this is the year to do it. But yeah, for the moment, we are definitely not there. However, I mean, hey, we can't say too early, but that was a very strong start to the season, to say the least. So we'll see what happens here in the next little bit of this season. But yeah, trying not to speak too optimistically. Like, let's keep our expectations in check here just a little bit. We've seen with these sims before that, man, things can go terribly, terribly wrong incredibly quickly. So yeah, no desire at all right now to do anything too crazy to get those hopes up. Like I said, we're not quite there yet still, but give it time, and yeah, who knows what might happen the rest of the way through this season. Let's go with season. 17, 8, and 3, though. That's not bad. It has to, you know, it makes you wonder, like, okay, if we put out our best possible team, could we make the playoffs? You know, if like Nolan Bentham and everything was on the defensive side of the core, so to speak, and, you know, we had Parker there as well, would we be a playoff team? And I think we can clearly say the answer is yes. If we were not intentionally hindering our depth for the sake of player development, it does look like we might be able to be one of the better teams in the league, because we're looking like a decent team now. And I don't know. It makes me wonder, do I change up the team and just say, okay, screw the development. Let's just try to win a cup this year, and then we'll keep it going. I'm not going to end the series off of one early cup. I don't know. February 3rd, we are second in our division on 67 points. Landeskog has 81 points in 51 games. He has been outstanding. Lindgren's only gone up by a point, but look at that. 41 points, 12 on the power play. We can't drop him. We can't. Now, Bell, 20 goals. We can't. Yeah, we can't drop him. These guys are doing too damn good. Bell has 20 goals in 51 games. Cycla already up by 3, I believe. I think he was a 65 before. We can't drop these guys. No way, no how. Even though like Jacques Delorier is not crushing it, what's the point? Little and Bakos not crazy in terms of overall improvement, nor for Stajan. So maybe that's the question. Like Bentham and Parker. I mean, that would move Dragicevic over to the left. And we could take out Bakos and Little. Oh, that's a tough one. But, I mean, Bakos has worked really well with Skinner. Goaltending-wise, Vinny at a 9.15, Ratzlaff at a 9.10. I don't know. I don't know what we should do here because I really see the potential of the team. And we know we have the reinforcements from within. Oh, to make our team that much better. Damn. What do we do? Do we still just say, leave it as is? And whatever happens, happens. Or do we go for it? Will we need the help? It might come down to the final few weeks of the season. I think it will. I'll see if we're in the playoffs. And then on paper, we could technically make this team better if we had to. Damn. This is kind of crazy, though, that we're in this position. The Hamilton Hounds are running away with the Hunter division. We're going to stop in a week's time before that game against Dayton. Oh, goodness. And we're going to see where we're at. 41, 23, and 8. Are we currently in a top 8 division? The Hounds have already clinched a playoff spot. And it's not like the modern day NHL setup here. So in the Howe, we're the 3rd best team in the Howe Conference. Top 8. We're only in by 5 points right now, though. I mean, it's still a very, very close situation at the top of the board. We could certainly use that added bit of insurance to make the team that much better. But there's no denying that some of the guys, I mean, it would basically just be the defense, right? Like Shepard would get dropped. We are seeing improvement from Little and from Bakos, though. We are seeing improvement. Really nothing from Stajan, which is now very concerning. Okay. I know we're seeing improvements from those low elites, but I think now is the time to go with the higher rated. So Little, Bakos. I don't recall how much improvement we've seen from Dan Watkins, but he's had an awesome season. Stajan as well has had good point production. Shit. We're going to make the playoffs, so we might as well try to win because we're not going to have a good draft pick. Right? We might as well. Parker, Bentham, Virtanen. Although we do need more left side options. Left side can be Dragicevic and Watkins, Skinner, Stajan. So technically, one lefty, one righty. So Bentham and Parker would be the guys for Little and Bakos to send them down to the AHL. And then Watkins has had a very good season. I don't want to send him down to potentially ruin that, even though we do have guys who are 4 overall points better. I just don't want to potentially stifle that development. Although if we send these guys down to the AHL, maybe they do a little bit better. Honestly, let's risk it. There's no waiver options. They got a lot of NHL time. Their development should be there. We should be good. 60 overall. Bell has had very good development. But now's the time that we send him down. Call up Ahonen. Bell goes back to junior. Hopefully still benefits from the playing time that he had. And then center, there's nothing we can do. Did we make a mistake in sending down Bell? I don't know. But Ahonen's in the lineup now. He is a significantly better player. He had 32 goals in the AHL. And then defensively, I mean, we completely reworked the damn thing. So we do know that we now have too many defenders on that right-hand side, is what we know. Because I was going to keep Watkins, who could play both sides. I do prefer to have players on their proper side. No, we're actually good, because, yeah, Bentham, Dragosevich. Okay, never mind. We are good. I was going to say, I thought I tallied that the right way. So, again, Ahonen in at left. But we are going to, honestly, probably just change best lines again. Let's go best lines and see what we have. And honestly, again, we still want Lindgren on that top line. That's not changing. Cycle of 2. But the Laurier can be dropped, and we can bump up Oswald just to get people in a better spot. Line chemistry-wise, okay, never mind. There we go. There's the one fit. The Laurier stays as second-line center. And then defensively, let's swap for Tannen. So we go Dragosevich, Bentham, Karppinen, Parker, Skinner, Virtanen, which is pretty good. I'm not going to optimize the power play from there. We'll just trust it as what it is, and we'll see if we made the right choice, because I don't know. I don't know if we did, right? I don't know if we did, but we can't go back and change it now. In theory, it's the right thing to do. I also don't know if the AHL team is close at all to potentially making the playoffs here, but we'll get Little and Bakos into the lineup, because why not? We can take out actually Ivanov for Chow, because he was a little bit better. And Watkins, Yakala. Yasu's not ours, is he? Matiyasu, he is not. So Yakala can go down. I was hoping there was a way to avoid that -3. There is not. So in theory, AHL-wise, if they're in a good spot, they are. They were crushing it. They're easily going to take the Atlantic Division, so that's good. So those guys will be now more key players at the AHL level, and at the NHL level, obviously we're still going to lose games. We're not going to panic, but we should be, oh boy, a better team on paper, and my hope is that the guys that we sent down don't have any, oh my God, boys, really? Don't have any potential developmental stunt, because it's like, oh, well, you're not in the NHL anymore, so you got demoted, so you should feel bad about yourself. There we go. We have 4 games left to go. We have still not clinched a playoff spot, but we found our winning touch with our new players, our better players, third best team in the conference. We are 6 points clear, pretty much 1 win away, I would say, from securing our first ever playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken. At least our first ever, yeah, it is our first ever playoff spot. I don't think we made it season 1, did we? Back-to-back losses puts this in jeopardy a little bit. The Toros have jumped us, but we are indeed playoff bound. Let's see if we can get our seeding back up there. 5-1 over Dallas. 1 game to go against Buffalo. We win it and jump the Toros in terms of seeding. Although they have 1 game left. Will they jump us back? No, they will not. Okay, so there you go. We have made the playoffs. As crazy as that is, the Hamilton Hounds, of course, really, really ran the show there. But let's take a look here. Hunter Division, obviously, Hamilton, ourselves, and the Toronto Toros have made the playoffs. Out of the Kaplan Division, it's Connor Bedard and the New York Raiders, the Ohio Arrows, and the Cincinnati Stingers. New York Golden Blades missing out by a point. The Hatskin Division, nobody, not a single team from that division made the playoffs, which is kind of crazy, man. That's kind of crazy that can happen that way. Again, it wasn't my intention with the way I set up this franchise mode, but it just kind of happened. Murphy Division was dominant. San Fran, Vancouver, Calgary, Seattle, and the Portland Axe have all made the playoffs. Out of the Dano, just the Kansas City Kings, which again, kind of crazy, kind of weird. And out of the Baldwin, Phoenix, Houston, Dallas, and Denver. So I mean, all in all, not bad. We were up there in the league. We finished 9th in total. Again, we kind of had our struggles once we made those changes. We were up there for total offense with 267 goals, allowing just 230, which would have been bottom third, if not, mid-table. So defense, goaltending, but we technically made it better on paper. So we'll see what's up. Let's go to we'll go to rosters in a minute. So down the middle, Michael Misa absolutely crushed it. 111 points, 91 of them assists. He is loving life next to Landeskog, and he's going to be loving life on that new contract. My God. Oswald, 31 points, not bad for a bottom sixer. Delorier, just 22 points, despite all that power play time, but again, super low overall. And Shepard with 16 points on the season, which isn't that bad. On the left, Lindgren, 58 points as a rookie. Loved life on that top line. Fukufuji with 30 points. McCarty with 9. Ahonen just 2 points in 10 games. Kind of regretting that call-up and that send-down. But on the right, you would have seen it already. Matthias Landeskog, 121 points, 74 goals. If he does not win some hardware, I don't know. I mean, you can only imagine how good the opposition would have been. Tuukka Saikala, it's very solid now, up to a 70 after 56 points. Moses on 35 and Dezote on 25. Defensively, Dragicevic, 58 points, 36 for Skinner. 5 points in 10 games for both Virtanen and Bentham. Parker was a minus 13 in 10 games. Sir, we might have to call some people back up as you get a look there at the numbers for Wroclaw and Vinny. I will not be able to call up the winger who went back to junior, but defensively, well, you guys are going to be able to get a decision here because we're not going to do the playoffs in this episode. I want to hear from you about what we should do for this matchup. Yeah, I can't call up the winger. He's back to junior. Was it a mistake? Was it not? Who's to say? But defensively, do we call Stajan back up? 27 points and a -6 at the NHL level, which isn't great. Again, really didn't show much development. There is Watkins, put up 41 points and a +20. I feel like, damn, Watkins has to come back, right? I feel like he's the top option in terms of coming back. Darryl Little had just 5 points. It was a -6. And then it goes back to Stajan. We wanted to look at Bakos, who had 14 points and was a +5. What do you think? Do we go back to the younger guys? Do we go back to just Watkins in exchange for, I mean, it's Parker especially. Like, he has been tragic so far this season in just those 10 games. Like, absurdly tragic. So let me know what you think on that regard. We will take a quick look around the league, however, as we do, to see that, oh my God, Landeskog did not lead the league in points. He was topped by Ariel Clarkson of Vancouver and Zach Benson of Hamilton, which is just insane. And you can really see the separation. Yeah, I mean, look at this. The separation that the superstars get from everyone else, those point totals drop off pretty damn fast, all things considered. When we look at the leading goal scorer, though, it was Landeskog with 74, Coe had 62, and Amir Wallace with 60. So a great job there by the 19-year-old Matthias Landeskog. Defensively, leading the way, Caleb Purcell again. Axel Sandin Pelika was in the conversation. And top goal scorer amongst defenders, who else would it be? Yves Paris. Getting it done. We are seeing the emergence of guys like Purcell and Paris, who are just absolutely insane. This guy's almost a point per game in his career as a defenseman. Goalie-wise, it should be worth noting, Dragicevic was up there as well, 58 points. Certainly not bad. Goaltending-wise, the winningest Nick Chenard and Noah Volley, both with 37. could really give it to Thomas Millett. She was up there as well. Shutout leader, bunch of guys with 7. Brady McMuffin, William Russo, and Casimir Kaskiswo. Save percentage leader, Oliver, I think it would be Chiarlo. You would think it would be. Cam Johnson's up there as well. A guy named Jakub Novoseltsev. For the rookies, Jesus. Well, we were never in contention for Rookie of the Year. Cesar Mercier, 27th overall to Hamilton. He must have been playing alongside Benson. Ron Wall as well. That might have been the line, for God's sakes. I mean, tough to compete with the Hamilton Hounds this season, but Johan still had a good showing for himself this year. So we are playoff bound for the very first time. Have some decisions to make about lineup. I do full-heartedly admit that we screwed up the winger. Shouldn't have sent him down, but defensively, who gets into the lineup for our round of 16 matchup with the Dallas Devils? Again, let me know what you think. Here is the full bracket, and if we win, and as do Hamilton, we would be playing Hamilton in the quarterfinals. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is Dallas next, and we'll see what happens next time out. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate it as always, and I hope to see you. I can't say I'll see you next time. I don't know for sure, but I hope you're there, and I'll see you then.